Hello, everybody. My name is Stephanie Marshall, and this is my assignment for week 6 of the discussion board 2, where we had to watch the video with the teacher and the project making the brochure on the West African cultures. And the questions that we had to answer was, how was the teacher able to assess for the ultimate goal of students reading, writing, thinking, and speaking critically about global topics? And the teacher used a technique that allowed students to be able to learn by offering them several choices to use their own creativity within guidelines to show their understanding of the topic. The end of this resulted in the student creating a brochure which paraphrased the information about the West African kingdoms, which is paraphrasing is a sign of understanding. So by using the technique that the teacher used, she was able to get the student the end result. The students read the information about the cultures, they wrote down, they thought about what they were writing to paraphrase it, and they had to think critically about how to design the brochure. The next question is, how does her lesson show she was preparing her students for multiple assessment types? The teacher worked with students individually while walking around the room to help guide them through the process of designing the project and helping them decide what needed to be included in the project, what did not need to be included in the project. This was a part of formative assessment, assessing as you go along. One of the children had the question about the trade and the best way the kingdoms traded within itself, and instead of just telling her they used the river, she said, "What's here?" and she pointed to the map showing the child the river so that the child could think for themselves and say, okay, she's pointing to the river, so would they use the river? So it gave them a chance to kind of formulate, to think through the process of learning. For summative assessment, the final project was the of going through the rubric that she had with the entree and the various menu items that were listed. So those were the ways of her multiple assessment types that she used. The next question was, how does student choice play a part of her differentiated instruction? The student choice played a large part in this type of instruction. The student was guided into taking ownership of his or her learning, which is very important in a child's success. And I don't even think the children realized that they were being guided into thinking for themselves, because she did it so gracefully, and she didn't do it in a way that looked down on the students. She did it in a way that's helping them to think for themselves. They didn't feel rushed in any kind of way to complete the project. They went at their own pace, and this is a sort of encouragement to students when they don't feel like they're in competition or they're not threatened by a time limit, when they can really truly take their time to understand what they're doing and put their best effort forth in that. The last question was, share one idea from this lesson and how you could use it to modify your own lesson. Now, the idea that I took away from this was to use real live things to create the rubric design for various projects. The teacher in our study, she used the idea of a meal, where she started with the appetizer was the first part of the project, then a meal, the entree, and so it allowed the child to be able to relate to appetizers, the first part of the meal. So this is the first part of the project, and I really, really like that idea. To me, it was a clever way to get the child to understand the different parts of a project, and so that's one idea that I'll definitely be using. So thanks to everyone. Good luck in the class and in the rest of the learning here at Ashford.